Hello and welcome back to goldstocktrades.com. Today we have a new and special guest with us, Glenn Kuntz. Glenn is CEO of Mega Precious Metals. Mega can be traded as MGP on the TSX Venture. Thanks, Glenn, for being here with us today.
Thank you, Jeb. I appreciate the opportunity.
Can you talk to us about Mega Precious Metals and its assets in both Manitoba and the Red Lake District?
Sure. We have our main our flagship, I should say, property is Monument Bay. It's located in northeastern Manitoba, and we've outlined last year we came out with a resource estimate of 3.6 million ounces of gold. In Red Lake, we have our North Madsen project, which we've recently come out with a new NI 43-101 report on, and we've outlined approximately 1.3 million ounces of gold.
So, Glenn, tell us a little bit about some of the milestones that you made in 2013.
Yeah, I would classify in 2013 to be quite pivotal for the company. We ended the year with approximately 5 million ounces on the books, so that's between those two main assets, Monument Bay and as well as North Madsen. That's in all categories, measured, indicated, and inferred. We also closed a significant financing event with Pacific Road Capital, which outlined up to $40 million of U.S. actually over 4 tranches, and when we started that process in the interaction with Pacific Road Capital in September last year, and we closed the first tranche in December 31st, 2013. 2013. The other things that we did in 2013, which were quite transformational for the company, is we discovered that we have the potential for a significant byproduct credit at our Monument Bay assets through an element called tungsten. And that could actually increase the overall gold equivalent grades of up to 30% over what is reported in our NI 43-101 reports.
Talk to us a little bit more about this, how tungsten's going to help out the economics here.
Yeah, so tungsten as an element, most people may or may not be aware, but when it trades between $40 and $50 per kilo, so roughly $40,000 to $50,000 per ton. It's on a strategic element list, both in the U.S. as well as in Europe. As an element, it is often associated as an accessory mineral with gold deposits, so it's quite common in a lot of Archean gold systems. However, having it in the pure concentrations that we have veins that are running very high grades, upwards of almost 11% tungsten over a half a meter. Our averages are around 1% and 2%, but we do see some very rich areas within the deposit, and as such, it's also quite continuous throughout the deposit. Basically, it runs right from the western edge of our deposit right through the eastern edge, so right from surface all the way down to the deepest we've drilled. So we do know we have good continuous shear zones that are high grade in tungsten, as well as we have a very good central core of majority of gold mineralization throughout the deposit.
So Glenn, you will do an updated resource that will include this tungsten together with the gold in 2014?
That is correct. That's correct. And we're also currently in the process of doing metallurgical testing for tungsten. We've already completed over the years the project has been around. There's already been 3 rounds of metallurgy for the gold mineralization, and it has recoveries up to 95% for gold only. But now with the tungsten, obviously, we're doing metallurgical testing on both elements. So that will be part of that will be coming out over the coming months, and then on the back of that will be a resource that'll have both gold and tungsten to the market.
And tungsten's getting a lot of interest from investors right now.
Very much so. I mean, it's a unique element and very. I mean, it's controlled basically about 85% of the world production comes from China. Most of it, about 90+% of it, tungsten is usually coming from deposits. They're called skarn deposits. And skarn deposits are quite different than vein deposits. They usually have a little bit more. They're usually a lot lower grade. They usually have a little bit more impurities in them, and so a lot of the mills don't particularly like the grade or the kind of or the quality of the product that they deliver. For Monument Bay, because we're in a vein deposit, it's quite different. We have a lot less from an impurity perspective. They're actually quite. We have our tungstens in the form of scheelite, and as you can tell by our website and some of the pictures, it's highly concentrated inside of these veins, so it makes it a little bit more amenable to recovery as opposed to skarn deposits. It also has, for most people who may or may not be aware, but one of the biggest mines in Canada that ran, which was the Hollinger mine in Timmins Camp, it not just it mined over 30 million ounces of gold over its lifetime. It also mined a significant amount of tungsten over the years. So it used to have tungsten as a byproduct credit, very similar to our camp.
Glenn, the government of Manitoba has ranked the Monument Bay project third on their development list, and you've mentioned before that you consider Monument Bay a world-class asset. Can you give us some reasons why you consider Monument Bay really a standout project right now?
Well, the first thing is the size and the grade. You have a combination here. So we right now already have 3.6 million ounces of gold. Overall, the gold grade's about 1.4 grams per ton. However, we have a starter pit that's running much higher grade at 2.7 grams per ton. So we have this ability to have quick payback on the economics, a return on capital much sooner than later. Another thing is we have district scale potential. It's 338 square kilometers. We know we have, out of our 338 square kilometer land package, we have at least 140 kilometers worth of structures that are gold and tungsten bearing on the property. We've only exposed approximately about 7 or 8 of those kilometers, so we have plenty of upside. The metallurgy on the gold alone is quite good. So that plus the tungsten, which is increasing the overall grade, quite attractive. The infrastructure, low energy costs. Manitoba is spending upwards of almost $3 billion on improving infrastructure in the local areas, on roads, bridges, power lines, etc. And these are coming into this. The roads are being all-weather roads are being built into communities that are around our project, which are going to have a huge impact, obviously, from a construction perspective. And then there's electricity costs in Manitoba. They're right around 3.5 cents a kilowatt, or less, which compared to anywhere else in the world, I mean, you come across into Ontario, you're paying roughly around 12. So these are going to have huge impacts on the on operating costs, very positive impacts on operating costs for this operation. And then, of course, from a financing perspective, we can't leave that out. I mean, attracting Pacific Road plus having Pinetree in, there's some key people that help this project move this project forward.
Glenn, let's move to the Red Lake asset, which has grown from a 35,000 ounce deposit to now has over 1.3 million gold ounces in M&I and inferred in a 43-101 resource.
Yeah, so it's a fantastic little asset. It's on patented claims right in the heart of Red Lake. It is, and what I mean by in the heart of Red Lake, it's literally about 300 meters off the highway that kind of goes from Red Lake right down to Madsen Mine. The Madsen Mine asset was just recently purchased by from Claude, was with Claude Resources, was purchased by Laurentian Goldfields. They bought the whole camp, so their land package basically butts right up to us, and one of their old mines on their project called the Buffalo Mine continues onto our asset. Part of our resource in the North Madsen project is, for lack of a better word, shared ounces coming across the border onto our side. So, all in all, it's pretty exciting that Laurentian Goldfields had now has picked up this asset because it gives it, I think, a new life, a new chapter, and a combination of both Laurentian goldfields plus Goldcorp's Red Lake mine plus other mines coming on stream in the Red Lake area give us an opportunity here where we might be able to monetize our asset in some sort of way, or with a venture arrangement and or a NSR on the project or outright sale in the coming years. From their perspective, obviously they're having they'll need feed for their mills going forward, and this asset's sitting right up on surface and ready to go to the next stages of being mined.
Glenn, with a market cap around $21 million right now for Mega Precious Metals and this large resource in both Manitoba and Red Lake, and $5 million in the treasury, can you maybe discuss the opportunity that it may exist for new shareholders coming into the Mega Precious Metals company right now?
Yeah, well, I definitely. I mean, we're obviously highly undervalued, and we're undervalued for, especially in relation to current share price, but also how many ounces we have on the books. I mean, we're basically roughly being valued at about $5 or $6 per ounce, especially with a market cap above approximately $20 million. I kind of view it as kind of like we would be an asset of. We probably on the if you were looking at us from the outside, we're probably worth if you compared it to like a car, we're kind of worth say with a higher end BMW, it's worth say $100,000, but we're on sale right now for about 20. So I think there is a real value add here when you want to be able to buy in. There's obviously I think we have a lot of upside. I mean, we're starting at 4.9 million ounces, and we're selling for just under, basically, 20 cents. So, and our competitors and people in our peer are probably trading for at least double of what we are right now, or triple. So, the other thing is from a cost of gold production, we're in projects that are located in Canada, which are relatively much lower risk than obviously a lot of offshore investments. So I think from the next year perspective, our share price should perform quite well compared to our peers.
Glenn Kuntz, CEO, Mega Precious Metals, which can be traded as MGP on the TSX Venture. Thanks so much for being here with us today and for giving us an introduction into Mega Precious Metals Incorporated.
Thank you very much, Jeb. I appreciate your time today.